3D printing technology is an incredibly growing fast technology which is accomplishing some incredible feats. So, if this is the case, are 3D printed homes the future of housing? Can 3D printed homes reduce the cost of rent and eradicate homelessness? Let's find out. When you think of 3D printed homes, you are likely to imagine futuristic homes engineered by technologies which are made for the only world millionaires. But you may be surprised to hear that 3D printed homes are a phenomenon of the present and are emerging all over the developing world. The ability to print 3D homes for a low cost is changing the landscape of the developing world as governmental organizations, non-profit and housing construction companies collaborate to serve the homeless and reduce rental prices by creating affordable housing. With all this being said, let's now take a look at how and why 3D printing homes is changing the housing landscape. If you look back at the mechanism of typewriters, the first machine you can remember that looked like a typewriter, you will notice that the letter formed by the ink sits on top of the page surface. The traditional printer at your home works in the same manner. It prints letter that sits on top of the page surface. Therefore, if you were to print on the same page numerous times, you find out that the ink will stack up on the page. Now, a 3D printer works by capitalizing on this same theory. It essentially prints thin layers on top of each other until the intended 3D object is formed. It is similar to the process of making a sandwich. When you are making a sandwich, you layer each ingredient piece by piece until the desired sandwich is created. In the same manner, the 3D printer prints tiny layers of materials piece by piece until the desired object is created. Now, you might be wondering, how can a 3D printer print an actual building? Well, that is great. The 3D printer can layer materials piece by piece to build objects. But can it print an entire house? That is the question. Surprisingly, it can. The development of industrial-sized 3D printers has made it possible to print homes in 24 to 48 hours. The industrial-sized 3D printers print homes layer by layer based on digital blueprints designed on modeling software. It then uses ingredients such as sand, cement, and other additives, or uses sustainable earth-based materials such as soil, clay, straw chopped rice, and slits to produce a paste-like mixture. This paste-like mixture is heated and squeezed out through the printer nozzle and solidified by a concrete dryer until the basic structure of the home is built. After the basic structure of the home is built, workers then install finishes such as plumbing, electrical wiring, doors and windows to complete the home. Additionally, 3D printers can be streamlined to work quickly and reduce waste. This means 3D homes can be printed in a short time frame and are more cost efficient and environmental friendly. However, it is worth noting that the printer can only print homes in proportion to its size, and this can result in size limitations. So therefore, most 3D printed houses are generally between 600 to 1900 square feet in size. The introduction of 3D printing in home construction is revolutionary, but you might be wondering if it will be expensive to build one. It is in fact the opposite. Due to the efficiency of 3D printers, it is cheaper to print homes than to build them the old-fashioned way. And since 3D printers can be programmed to minimize waste, run on limited energy, and can work around the clock, it is both sustainable and time efficient to print homes. The time efficiencies allow the construction to be completed in a short amount of time, therefore allows developer to build more homes. Now, to add to this, the reduction of waste minimizes materials cost. It also increases profits and is more sustainable. This aspect allows an 800 to 1000 square foot home to be printed on average for $4,000 to $10,000. So you can see how cheap this can become. As reported by Business Insider, a 350 square foot tiny home costs on average $25,000 and can cost up to 6 figures with upgrades. However, 3D printing company Icon predicts based on the developed prototype that it can build 600 to 800 square foot homes for $4,000 in 24 hours or less. Additionally, Icon also has reported to the Wall Street Journal that it can print a 2,000 square foot home for just $20,000. So can you imagine building a 2,000 square foot home for $20,000? That would be insane. According to Yale Global Online, as of January 21, 2020, approximately 150 million people are homeless and 1.6 billion people lack adequate housing, which is 2% and 20% of the world population respectively. Partnership between 3D housing construction companies and non-profit organizations in the developing world have the potential to alter this reality. In 2018, Icon, a company specializing in sustainable technology and construction innovation, built the first permitted 3D home in America. This home was designed specifically for the developing world, and this has allowed Icon to collaborate with non-profits to provide housing for the poor. For example, Icon, in partnership with New Story, that is a non-profit serving the homeless in the developing countries, is collaborating with the local government in a rural town in Mexico to provide affordable shelters to over 500 families. Moreover, there are over 500,000 people that are homeless on a given night in the United States. Approximately 35% of the 500,000, just under 200,000, are unsheltered on the streets, while 65% temporarily reside in homeless shelters. And the low cost of 3D printing can provide a more permanent solution to this housing crisis. Icon has also partnered with Mobile Loaves and Fishes, that is a social outreach ministry based in Austin, Texas, to print a welcome center in less than 27 hours for the Community First Village. And the Community First Village provide housing to men and women coming out of chronic homelessness. Now, similarly, Episcore, a company applying additive manufacturing to build houses robotically, has also partnered with the Housing Trust Fund of Santa Barbara County to also print low-cost, affordable housing. As 3D printing technology continues to develop, it not only has the potential to eradicate homelessness, but it also has the potential to reduce rent insecurity and also increase home ownership. In the United States alone, rent prices have skyrocketed over the past few decades. Now, according to the Joint Center for Housing Studies at Harvard University, as of 2017, 20.5 million households in the United States are rent burdened. Now, rent burdened households on average spend over 30% of their income on rent, not including utilities. And this has tremendously increased the financial burden on households as rent continues to increase and compose larger and larger proportions of their income. However, the low cost of 3D printing has the potential to revolutionize the housing market of the future and allow families to find more affordable housing. And the low cost of 3D printed homes can also allow upper to lower class and middle class families to increase home ownership by decreasing the overall cost of the housing. Therefore, it is possible that as 3D printing technology continues to develop, it could define the trajectory of the future housing market. So, what are your thoughts on these 3D printed houses? Do you think this technology is going to change the way we build in the future and possibly reduce homelessness and change the developing world? Or do you think this technology will be another decorative footnote of architectural history? Let us know in the comment section below, and before you leave, please consider subscribing to the channel Eno Tutorial for more construction videos like this. And with that being said, you all have a good and a wonderful day. God bless you all. Bye bye.